So, in this video I want to guide you through the exercise that we have about present tenses and past tenses. And what I want to highlight is basically the reason why we have to choose this tense rather than any other. Starting with the first one, we have Christopher Columbus, right? And Christopher Columbus is dead, right? He has been dead for a very long time, so we speak about the past here, and therefore we need to use a past tense. So Christopher Columbus reached America by accident. In the next sentence we have a keyword, or actually we have more than one keyword, but for the first form here, for this word cycle, we have a keyword usually. So he usually, so that's what he normally does. He usually cycles to work, but this week, and this is a contrast to what he normally does, so that's completely different, and it is temporary, as we see. So this week. But this week he is using public transport because his bike is broken. Number 3, Sharon and Michael are on holiday in Greece, so they are on holiday now. Therefore, it is temporary, it is just now, and therefore we should use present continuous as well. Oh, pardon me. They are staying in a nice hotel by the sea. Number 4, have you seen Daryl recently? Yes. In fact, I heard him just the other day. And here we have another time indication. So we speak of the past just the other day. So just a few days ago, or perhaps a few weeks ago, but just the other day. So just recently. So in fact, I saw him just the other day. Number 5. Now we have Robert, and it says here, since I last saw him 10 years ago. So this is when I last saw him, and up until now he has not changed a lot, because we have this keyword here, since. Right? So he hasn't changed a lot since I last saw him 10 years ago. So in other words, I saw him 10 years ago, and up until now he hasn't changed a lot. Right, let's move on. Number 6. Yesterday I wanted to play tennis with George. While, so here I think this is a keyword as well that could help us. So while I was waiting for him, so while I was in the process of waiting, while I was waiting for him, he called to say he couldn't come. And I would like to remind you of the Simon the Surfer story. When he came to the beach, the sun was rising. So the sun was in the middle of rising, in the process of rising. And that's the same thing. So when he called, what was I doing? I was waiting for him. He called to say he couldn't come because his car had broken down. And we have to use this here because first the car broke down and then he called. Right? So he couldn't come because even earlier in the past his car had broken down. So number 7. He lived in London for 2 years and then moved to Edinburgh. Yeah, I think that's clear because we have one action in the past and then another one. Right? Because it says here, and then. So we see that he doesn't live in London anymore, but he's in Edinburgh now. So he lived in London. So that means that's finished, right? He doesn't live there anymore. That's finished. It's in the past. Number 8, the birds. The birds, and it says here every spring. So that takes place every year. That takes place regularly. So the birds return to the island. That's as simple as that. Number 9, the fire alarm went off just while we, and again this while, so while we were in the middle of doing the maths exam. So just while we were doing the maths exam. A big number of astronauts, and here we have a keyword which says so far. So up until now, so far, a big number of astronauts have been to the moon so far. And then 11. In sentence, where was that? 5, there is a keyword since. And here we have the other one that is often encountered in a sentence with the present, present perfect. So I have studied French for more than 8 years now, or I have been studying French. So this is what we express differently in German. In German we say, ich lerne Französisch seit. But in English we have to use this tense because 8 years ago I started learning French, or I started studying French, and I'm still studying French, right? So I have studied, or I have been studying, which is perfectly fine. Number 12. Keyword yet. So it says the same as already. Have humans... Oops. It's getting a bit tight here. So have humans landed on Mars yet? So if we have the word already instead, it would say have humans already landed on Mars? But the word yet is given, which actually means the exact same thing. Number 13, when the earthquake struck, most people about their normal lives. So what were people doing when the earthquake struck? What was going on? What were they in the middle of doing? Right? So most people were going about their normal lives. We could choose a simple form and say most people went about their normal lives, but that would be different, right? That would say the earthquake struck and then people went about their normal lives. And finally, they did something in 2002. So we have a time indication for the past. So we should use a past tense. They moved to Cornwall in 2002. And since then, up until now, they have lived, or if you want, they have been living there since then. So far so good. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Don't hesitate to ask me in Teams chat or call me. Right? Bye-bye.